an interesting tip. Look at this. Kansas has won the championship twice. Both years were leap years. Yes, 1996 is a leap year.
Oh, Tim, you're reaching on that.
Well, we'll see. Kansas thinks they can do it. The number 2 seed in the West, I'm sure they consider themselves the number 1.
One thing Arizona has to realize, you cannot run with Kansas.
Kansas will be in white with blue trim. Arizona in blue with red and white trim. By the way, if you watched this earlier, John Wallace's game-winning shot was a 3-pointer for Syracuse, and that altered the game score. A steal right away by Simon. Simon of Arizona. Miles Simon, a 6'4" sophomore from Fullerton, California. He averages 12-9 a game. Arizona with 4 of their starters in double figures. Kansas with all 5 in double figures. Great balance on both teams, but the depth goes to Kansas.
And down low, it will be a physical game down low. A lot of body checking.
Williams turned around and hits. Corey Williams, a senior from Batavia, Illinois. Arizona on the board first.
Both teams are playing man-to-man out of the gate.
Paul Pierce, a 3-pointer and a 1-point lead early. Paul Pierce, a freshman from Los Angeles, Inglewood High School. McDonald All-American. Down the lane. Corey Williams.
Paul Pierce needed that basket. He's been struggling in the tournament so far, offensively. A little bit too fast for tempo, Arizona. If you want to stay in this ball game, they can't run with Kansas.
Wildcats with the rebound. Geary for 3, missing. Rebounded by LaFrentz. In the corner. Jarrett Haas. 6'4", Kansas. Geary driving deep, now kicks it back for McLean. Looking for Davis, and he's fouled on the inside by Pollard. First on Scot Pollard, the 6'10" junior from San Diego, California.
One of the most difficult things is feeding the bucket. That was a great entry pass. He ended up with inside position. All Pollard could do was foul him. There's another angle on it.
Ben Davis, a transfer from a junior college, actually started his college basketball career at Kansas as a freshman. Played in Florida after that, at University of Florida, then wound up in a junior college, and now a senior playing for Arizona out of Fort Pierce, Florida.
He has to stay out of foul trouble because he's the only true big man that the Wildcats have.
We're tied at 6. Vaughn for LaFrentz. Underneath, it's Paul Pierce. 5 points for Pierce. Simon driving, and he's fouled. Or they called it an offensive, a charge on Pierce. Kansas with a 2-point lead here. 17:49 to go first half. Tim Ryan and Al McGuire in Denver. We had a thriller in the first game. Syracuse holding off the challenge of the Bulldogs of Georgia, the lowest seed remaining in the tournament. Now, Kansas leading Arizona early here by 2. Pierce driving. And the offensive foul charge on Pierce is first. Syracuse, the number 4 seed in the West, advances to Sunday afternoon, the regional final, awaiting the winner of 2 and 3, Kansas and Arizona.
Watch Jacque Vaughn here pick him up. As soon as he goes over half court, he gets down in that defensive position, keeps his eye on his belly button of Geary.
McLean feeding the corner. Geary.
Nice move offensively. Put it in off a kiss on a running shot.
Tied at 8. Bad miss from the corner from Haas. Haas follows in, but is taken away by Davis.
Twin Towers from Kansas have to play a little bit more physical.
Lane out for Geary. To Simon. Behind the screen of Williams. Corey Williams pump fake. Jumper off the front iron. Arizona keeps it alive. McLean with the rebound. This inside and the follow. Williams. Corey Williams off to a good start for the Wildcats. 6 points for him. Pollard with the stuff.
Looks like they're exchanging baskets down low, but I guarantee you this, Kansas, LaFrentz, and Pollard got to play more physical if they want to handle Arizona tonight.
Tied at 10. Geary from McLean. McLean for three. He's well. He's very well. Shoots from 40, at 41% from beyond the arc. Gets his first here in this game. Pierce missing from three. Davis with the rebound. 13 to 10 Arizona. Corey Williams for three. Rebound by Haas.
He'll distribute the ball. Jacque, nice underneath. Simple pass. He sees the whole court.
LaFrentz fouled by McLean. First on him.
You can play with Jacque Vaughn. If you're open, you're going to get the pill.
Jacque Vaughn, Big 8 Player of the Year, academic All-American, former McDonald All-American in high school, candidate for Player of the Year. John Wallace picked up a few votes tonight, I think, with his performance against Georgia in the first game here in Denver.
What a solid performance in the overtime.
Jacque
The rebounder.
Jacque Vaughn, an outstanding student, as we mentioned, and writes poetry, reads it sometimes before the game to get his inspiration. And it results in 48% from the field, 43% from the line, 208 assists on the year. LaFrentz from the free throw line.
He reminds you a lot of Kevin McHale, but he doesn't have the physical play. Kevin could really, he looked like an angel, but he wasn't. He looked like an altar boy, Kevin McHale.
Had nothing to do with his heritage, of course. Raef LaFrentz makes the second. 13 to 10 Arizona, 15:31 to go. Just squeaked by Georgia in the first one in overtime. There's Joe McLean getting a little rest at the moment. He spent part of the day in the hospital today at dehydration. I think it was food poisoning last night. We're not really sure, but he started and he's got a three-pointer already.
Excellent defense by Kansas.
So Simon into the paint and hits the jumper. Miles Simon, the sophomore from Fullerton, California, his first. Back the other way, the miss by Kansas. That was Haas. Rebound Geary. Dickerson in the line for Arizona. McLean, and he hits a three.
Watch out fast that day. Jacque gets it down to it, round your back. Sometimes sends it to a basket right away.
John Pearson in the lineup for Kansas. So is B.J. Williams, number 22. This is Vaughn. And a travel call on Vaughn. Roy Williams got some new faces on the floor. Second turnover.
It's a rare turnover by Jacque Vaughn. He doesn't commit too many.
Haas and Vaughn in the backcourt. Pearson, Williams, and T.J. Pugh line up front for Kansas. Simon behind the pick, set by Donnell Harris, a freshman in the lineup, number 13 for Arizona. And Simon for three.
Simon says, I'm going to have a big game.
5 points. He shoots threes at 32%, averaging just under 13 points a game.
Too much hands that time by Reggie G.
Geary picks up the personal. He felt that he didn't deserve it, but he accepts.
Yeah, he was given a handshake, and he was really had his hands too much on Jacque Vaughn.
Ryan Robertson in the game, number 4, freshman guard from St. Charles, Missouri. It's 4-3 game for Kansas. action off the ball.
If you could watch, Tim, and the audience watch, it is going to be a tremendously physical game down low. When you play Arizona, they play physical, but they play physical with body. Boy, down for the count.
T.J. Pugh picked up the foul for Kansas, the freshman from Omaha. Changes again. Their coaches are wheeling him in and out. Bramlett and Harris both go out after being on the floor for about a minute, maybe two. Williams returns for Arizona, number 33, Corey Williams. Geary.
Geary should take him to school. Take the freshman to school right here. He doesn't do it.
Dickerson driving into the paint. His feed to Davis. Ben Davis, the senior. 4 points for him. Oh, what a play by Vaughn.
Ooh, that was a 360 and clear out with your inside arm and play it off the glass.
23 to 13, 10-point lead for Arizona. Simon, pull-up jumper, and he's fouled by Robertson. First on him.
I don't like to even talk over this Jacque Vaughn move. There's the 360, acrobatics in the air, then the kiss. What a leader, what a young man, and only a junior.
6'1" from Pasadena, California, one of 4 Californians who start for Kansas. And as you have seen already, if you haven't seen Kansas during the season, Roy Williams has got a lot of bench strength, and he's had him in and out already. 6 points for Simon at the line for the Wildcats of Arizona. They have only 10 players on their roster, so Pete Olson's going to have to be very judicious pacing them through here. Remember, we're at altitude in Denver, and it does have some effect on some players. Mile High City.
And in comes the kid they nicknamed Socks. You'll know a little bit later to get a picture of him. The socks up around his knees.
That is Jason Terry you're talking about. Pierce again for 7 points now. 25 to 15, 10-point Arizona lead. Outside it's Corey Williams.
Like to get it down low to Davis this time, but the clock's working against him.
Williams starts to drive. Missed off the glass. Vaughn diving. Got the ball, but took it out of bounds.
He just couldn't control his balance in bounds. He was not pushed. Here comes the hustle by Jacque Vaughn. Good call.
Geary in control for the Wildcats. Dickerson for 3. Rebound control by Corey Williams.
Dickerson is their key 6th man.
Michael Dickerson, a sophomore from Seattle. Hits threes at 43%. Frentz got a piece of that. Davis tries again, and he hits. Ben Davis at 17 against Iowa with 14 boards for Arizona as they defeated the 6-seeded Iowa Hawkeyes. LaFrentz turnaround, no goal for him. Arizona rebounding well. Dickerson up for it. Long pass for Davis, and this one he misses.
Pass drew too much under the basket. He couldn't get his balance and drain that one.
Vaughn trying a 3. Rebounded by Kansas. Pierce would try. Robertson got the rebound, but a pushing foul.
Robinson pushed off that time to get the rebound.
Second on him. 11:25 to go, first half. Arizona in charge. Victory over the Big East in Lexington tonight. Number 5 seed Mississippi State ousting UConn, the top seed, and that next matchup, Georgia Tech, Cincinnati at 2 and 3, and the winners meet Sunday at 5 Eastern time, the tip time. Here on CBS, exclusive coverage.
Mississippi State could end up in the Garden State in New Jersey for Final Four.
Richard Williams leading his team, with big Eric Dampier in the middle.
Jones, the judo that came in, the best junior college ball player in the country last year, and Wilson, an outstanding guard. Ooh, big shot.
Ryan Robertson for three. Arizona leading here 27-18 now. Robertson's first basket. A freshman from St. Charles, Missouri. And a travel call.
Travel calls on socks that time.
Jason Terry, a freshman from Seattle, number 31. You see those socks pulled all the way up over his calves. Once those pants start to sink a little bit, I don't think they can call them basketball shorts anymore, by the way. I think these are basketball longs, all these teams are wearing.
Nice feed to the bucket. Nice kick.
Pollard inside. And it's tipped in, I believe, by the Wildcats. No basket. Foul call on Pollard, his second.
Corey Williams tipped it in.
Yeah, I did.
Here's the play. Scot Pollard tries to get a piece of cake there. Doesn't fall.
27-18, the score remains. Arizona. 10:25 to go first half. They are the 3 seed in the West. Foul along the baseline, the first on Thomas. Billy Thomas, number 12, is a sophomore from Shreveport, Louisiana, averaging 5 points a game.
Dickerson
Didn't like it.
Dickerson is taking the shot now, Tim. Coach Lute says he has the quickest first step since Sean Elliott. And Sean Elliott has been a great pro the last 6-7 years.
Michael Dickerson had 13 points against Iowa. He's got 4 here. Sophomore, also from Seattle, like his teammate Terry.
He would have started if McLean came up sicker than he was.
Pollard goes out for Kansas. B.J. Williams returns, number 22. Assistant coaches have a real job over there with Roy Williams, keeping track of all of his substitutions.
A lot of these are multiple, and there's a reason for every substitution.
Absolutely.
It's not by accident. They look at, they're strong in the second half. They can stay tight in the first half. They usually blow you out the second.
Rayford is in. Calvin Rayford, a senior, number 10.
He's from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I remember him in high school. Very quick, doesn't shoot much. Picks up the tempo when he gets in the ball game.
Thomas trying a 3 off the iron. Rebound Simon. Simon alley-oop for Williams. Corey Williams. 8 points for Williams first half. 31-18.
If it's there, the Wildcats will take the break. Otherwise, they'd rather set the half-court offense.
Robertson's pass off the mark for LaFrentz. It's Arizona ball.
Lute Olson, some competitor. He's been around a long time. 3 Final Fours, 1 at Iowa and 2 at Arizona.
This team very loose in practice yesterday. He was enjoying watching them have a dunk contest after practice and long 3-point shots. In fact, Simon, the sophomore, number 34, is the guy that beat Cincinnati with one from just inside half court at the buzzer earlier in the season. Pushing foul off the ball. That was a Dickerson.
Back screen by Dickerson. He moved his arms up, which created the call.
14 fouls on the Wildcats. Kansas has 7. Arizona leading 31-18. This is Jacque Vaughn. Pass out for Thomas. LaFrentz outside.
You don't want to give Haas the 3-pointer.
Defense by Arizona. Pass forced back outside. Vaughn will set it up again.
Under 10 seconds, down to 8 now.
5 on the shot clock. 3-pointer from Haas. Jared Haas. The 6'3" junior from South Lake Tahoe, California.
They have all the weapons, Kansas. The Jayhawks, they have an answer to everything.
But they trail by 10. Simon couldn't hold the ball. Simon thought it went off the Jayhawks. And it did. It'll be Kansas ball. 3 turnovers now by Arizona.
Here comes the greatest, maybe, distributor point guard in college basketball. If you're open, you get the ball from this man.
On to Haas, to Williams. Williams for Arizona.
Vaughn has to play it off the glass. Moving too much towards the basket with that shot. Get the ball down low here, wants to bend. There it is.
Dickerson miscued. The pass intended for Davis. Was it tipped by a Jayhawk? Discussion by the officials. Tom O'Neill, Tim Higgins, and Mike Kitts. The officials in this game. Arizona ball. And Dickerson.
Jayhawks were sleepwalking on that play.
Dickerson nearly intercepted. The miss by Haas from 3. Keeps it alive with a good effort, but it's grabbed by Davis. 12-point lead for Arizona. 7:50 to go first half. Simon dribbles and then misses from 3. Rebound by Paul Pierce. This is Pierce, number 34. Pass intended for LaFrentz, and Davis got a hand on it. Pollard set to come back in. 7:32 to go first half. Arizona on top.
Young coach out there today. He's here with a 26-3 record. He doesn't lose often.
Jayhawks 12-2 in the Big 8. Lost to Iowa State in the conference tournament final. That dropped him down a seed. Purdue, meanwhile, got knocked out by Georgia. Syracuse won a thriller in overtime against the very gritty Bulldogs. The 3, Paul Pierce. The freshman from LA has 10 points. 33-24. Geary watched by Vaughn, and I mean watched. Fabulous feet that Vaughn has. Geary got it inside to Davis. Travel call on Davis. .7:10 remains in the first half. Arizona continues to lead Kansas 33-24. Vaughn watched by Geary. Great battle of 2 outstanding guards.
They want a free Haas spot. Haas up on the left side. There it is.
B.J. Williams underneath. Williams, the junior from Wichita.
McLean broke down defensively that time.
33-26. B.J. Williams' first basket. Kansas crowd comes alive. Geary, a great pass to Davis. Wasn't ready for it. He throws it back down court. Haas picks it up. Haas over McLean. The follow by Pierce and Haas. And McLean slowing it up.
No basket. They called blocking. Stepping in. Haas gets the ball off the out pass there. Now watch, he hustles towards it. Doesn't let it go out of bounds. He gets the baseline. He gets momentum. And the ref said, stepped in. Here's another angle.
Haas with 6 points will go to the line and try to make it a 3-point play. The margin reduced to 6. Arizona on top.
He's on my all blue collar team.
2 personals on Joe McLean. Haas, there's a look at the game summary to this point. Kansas shooting at 45%, Arizona at 55%. That's been a great start for the Wildcats, but a pair by Haas, 33-28.
He's a transfer from California.
Jayhawks fans coming alive here in McNicholls Sports Arena. Simon in the lane for the Wildcats. Great goal for him. Pierce for the rebound.
I didn't think the numbers were right. I thought Simon should have taken it back out that time.
Kansas on a 7-0 run. 3 missed by Haas. He gets it right back on a good pass from Pollard. Outside for B.J. Williams, and his miss is rebounded by Dickerson.
Wildcats need a basket here. Stop the drought.
And it's Geary in and out for 3.
A little bit too flat of a shot. He needs more trajectory on his outside shot.
Rebounded by Haas. Vaughn sets up Williams. Haas, lob pass, perfect strike. Williams.
Thank you, Roy.
Three-point game.
Coach set up that play. Unbelievable play.
Vaughn watching Gary. Gary watching the official.
Boy, Vaughn and Gary are really going at each other. There's pride there. They each want to show the other person up. They're playing in-your-face basketball defensively.
(33-30) with a timeout here from Denver. And now how about this tempo for Arizona? Is this going to be a problem?
Yeah, Arizona's getting themselves in real trouble here. They can't play this quick. Come the second half, they'll be tired, really tired.
Hearing for Dickerson. Dickerson's 3 to go, and Vaughn rebounds.
As I said from the top of the show, you cannot run with Kansas. Nobody can, maybe the exception of Kentucky.
Miss there by Pearson, Sean Pearson, in the lineup for Kansas. Good pass. Gary to Dickerson, he missed a shot.
That was a foul out of frustration. Dickerson thought he should have scored. Unbelievable pass from Gary into Dickerson. Watch the smoke on this ball. Watch it. Boom, he sees the guy open. He thought he should have scored there. Out of frustration there, just foul.
Second on Dickerson.
Both teams are in a 1-1.
Jacque Vaughn. Over him, and LaFrentz knocked the rebound out of bounds. The Arizona ball.
I say it again, I repeat myself too often in these games, but basketball is a simple game. Arizona, to win this game, cannot play this pace, even though they're winning by 3 points. It'll show up in the bell lap, the last 10 minutes of the game.
Gary slowing it down here on this half-court offensive play. Feed inside, missed.
See, they come right down. See, Vaughn take that ball, come right down and back here. If you don't go back, that defense will kill you.
Pollard from Vaughn. Gary now signaling to his teammates, let's slow it down here. It's a 1-point game, Arizona.
They work the clock a little bit, then try to kick it down low to Big Ben. Ben has position down low.
Kansas ball. 3:53 to play, first half, Arizona by 1. 6. They have had the run here in the last few minutes of this first half. And they have the ball. Vaughn and LaFrentz talked it over. B.J. Williams, LaFrentz, Vaughn, Sean Pearson, and Ryan Robertson now the lineup for the Jayhawks. Roy Williams using all of his bench freely in this first half. As usual, LaFrentz. Robertson, the freshman, drives baseline. One for him. Battle for the rebound. Ben Davis comes down with it. Fast break for Arizona. Dickerson takes it back out.
Back around the horn.
Geary. Watched by Pearson. Back for Williams. Had a shot, didn't take it. Dickerson into the paint. And a foul by Vaughn.
Williams has to take that shot. When you're open from the top of the key, you got to take it.
Jacque Vaughn, it was interesting reading about after the Santa Clara game, he went to their outstanding guard, Steve Nash, and congratulated him after the game. He had held him to cold 111 shooting during the game, shut him out in the first half, and he said, you know, you're a great player, and good luck to you in the future. And it's just another an example of Vaughn's class that that's the kind of a young man he is. It was a great duel. He won it handily. But he had a lot of respect for Steve Nash of Santa Clara.
The whole Jayhawk program is close.
Williams for the class.
Happy birthday, young man.
B.J. Williams, the 6'8" junior from Wichita. 6 points for him. 34-33. Kansas leads. And look at the difference here. Arizona field goals, 2 of 10 after their great start. Only the second lead for Kansas. Charging foul called.
Smothering defense down low. Once Ben Davis got the ball, they smothered him. Out of frustration again, he tries to force the shot instead of kicking it back out.
First on Davis. Lute Olson takes him out with 2:35 to go. Kansas by 1.
Boy, Williams wants it worked proper and a good shot off this set.
Joe McLean back in the lineup and draws the charging foul. McLean, the guy that spent part of the day in the hospital receiving fluids, has not played a lot this first half. But he gets the charge from LaFrentz. First personal on LaFrentz. McLean hit a 3 early and then has spent most of this first half on the bench. Kansas by a point. Arizona ball.
In the psychological timeout, because Rebel goes with the lead at halftime. It's a great position to be in this heavyweight contest.
Miles Simon. Kansas right back the other way. What a shot by B.J. Williams.
What they do, if you score, they come right back on top of you. If Jacque Vaughn got the ball in his hands, he's going to get it down court, which he did that time.
8 points for Williams. Kansas by a point. 36-35, 1:48 to go in the half. Geary watched by Vaughn. Nice drive, kicks it out, bad pass. Intercepted by Williams.
Vaughn makes the best decisions on a 3-man break of any guard in the country.
Pass for Williams underneath. The rejection.
Close to goaltending.
Corey Williams got it.
That was a walk. He slipped before he went in.
Down to 1:27 left in the half. Coming up on Pennzoil at the half, Pat O'Brien, George Raveling, and special guest Pete Carrill. I'll update you on all the tournament news, plus a live look in at the Georgia Tech-Cincinnati game, all coming up on Pennzoil at the half.
Paul Pierce just from out of the game. He twisted his ankles, likely, I believe. They took him right out of the ball game.
Kansas led 8-6 early. Arizona went ahead by 13. Kansas now by 1, 1:20 to go. First half, look at that pass from Geary to Simon. Simon for 3.
Simon wants the ball and he wants to shoot.
12 points for Miles Simon, Arizona by 2. On to Thomas. Thomas. LaFrentz missing off the glass. Simon up to rebound.
They're doubling triple team on LaFrentz.
Nice block by LaFrentz of that pass. Doesn't dribble beautifully. Geary, though, fouled him.
It'll be 1-1.
2 on Geary.
What Simon knocked it, Haas knocks it down, creates a turnover. And there's the foul by Geary.
Jared Haas. He'll go to the line, 1-1, 38-36, Arizona by 2.
California, he played with Jason Kidd. Here he plays with John Long. You're talking about 2 great guards to have your college career with.
Transfer from California in 1994. California years. South Lake Tahoe, California, his home. He brought Kansas to within 1. He's got 9 points. He can tie it here with 45.9 seconds left first half. He connects to tie it at 38. Geary in control. Simon, who's had the hot hand, drives into traffic and he draws a foul from Haas. First on Jared Haas. 10 team fouls now for Kansas.
1 second differential between the shot and the game clock.
Simon will have 2 shots.
Simonson was the guy that hit that big buzzer beater. I think it was against Cincinnati in early February.
I mentioned that earlier. It was about a 65-foot shot.
And he said he felt like it was going to go in from 65
He was lying on the floor, and when he released it, fell back, threw his hands up. He knew he had it. Routine.
Automatic.
They were shooting those here yesterday at practice just for fun, and very loose and relaxed Arizona team. Simon missing on the second free throw. Arizona by 1, 30 seconds remaining.
They can score here. They take a lead into the locker room.
Watched by Jason Terry. Leary on the bench for these final few seconds.
Jacque will not make a move for about 9 seconds. The 9 seconds on the clock. Right about now.
Goes to Haas behind the screen. Jared Haas. Kansas will go to the locker room. Up by 2 at the half. The end of the first half. Kansas 41. Arizona 39. CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship will continue after this word and a word from your local station. Okay. Give him a little stick there. How soon did this break? Run, and of course they've got the deeper and stronger bench. Arizona with just 10 players altogether on their roster, and they usually only go 2 deep. Simon has started off for the Wildcats. Can they keep the pace through the second half against the 2 seeds from Kansas?
Very
15 points for him.
That's the way Simon started off the first half.
Pierce, Haas, Vaughn, LaFrentz, and Pollard, the starting 5 for Kansas. And the same unit that started the game from Arizona.
There's the man, Vaughn. He has 8 assists in the first half.
Pierce, it's a 3. 13 points for the freshman from Los Angeles Inglewood High School. Averaging 11-7 a game. Replaced Sean Pearson in the starting lineup. Pearson a valuable reserve now, but when Pierce arrived, he got the job as a freshman. Inside here for Davis, his turnaround off the front of the rim, rebounded easily by LaFrentz. Pierce with a miss, and the rebound by McLean.
Look, set a little slower pace. You can tell at halftime, Coach Lute said, hey, slow it down a little bit.
Oh, bad pass there. Pierce intercepting 2-on-1, and it is Simon fouling. And another frustration foul. That's 2 on him.
Roy Williams' teams take advantage of any miscue. There's a miscue, and off to the races they go. Nice kick back on the break. Foul. Go to the line.
Well, Pierce at the line. Joe McLean in the game for Arizona to start the second half as he did the game. Those of you who joined us late, he spent part of the day in the hospital receiving fluids because he was dehydrated, either from a bout with the flu or what he felt was perhaps a food poisoning last night at dinner, and he comes out early again here as he did in the first half.
I would think he would become dehydrated.
15 points for Pierce. 46-41 Kansas. Cincinnati beating up on Georgia Tech, and Mississippi State upsetting Connecticut earlier, 5-1.
The Cincinnati Bearcats are the most physical team in the tournament, definitely the most physical in the Elite Eight.
Syracuse, a 2-point win here on a 3-point shot by John Wallace in that first game here tonight in overtime, a thriller over Georgia. And that 3-point play we underline because it was at the time, everybody thought it was a 2-point shot. Made a difference in the final score by a point, obviously. John Wallace with 30 points on the night. Brilliant game, 15 boards for Syracuse. Dickerson pulls up his jumper and hits.
Jayhawks got to start putting pressure up court. They can't let the tempo be governed by the Wildcats of Arizona.
9 points for Dickerson, in for McLean. Whoa, look at that shot by Jacque Vaughn.
got a lot of hang time there. Looked like about 2.5 seconds.
There's 4 points for Vaughn, but 2 beautiful baskets. Davis goes hard to the hole. 48-47. 8 points for Davis. Started his career at Kansas, wound up in Arizona after trips to Gainesville, the University of Florida, and a junior college. And it is final. Cincinnati romping over Georgia Tech. Bobby Kerman's team going down by 17. Cincinnati advances to the Elite Eight. Geary.
Well, they're taking their time each time down now, Tim. They seem to be taking about 15 seconds at least.
Simon outside. Dickerson won't go for him. Good rebound by B.J. Williams. Had a strong first half for the Jayhawks. Jacque Vaughn watched by Geary. Pierce driving. Checked from behind and fouled. And it was Dickerson picking up his third. One-point game with 16:55 to go, second half. Kansas 48, Arizona 47, the 2 seed against the 3 seed in the West. Williams going out for Arizona. McLean returns, the starter who has been spotted in this game. Pierce from the free throw line. This youngster has been strong from there, and he's not a great shooter normally from the free throw line. 60%er. And there's a look at the brackets with Cincinnati advancing to meet Mississippi State. That's a Sunday game here on CBS.
What's happening now here is that Arizona's trying to slow down the tempo, and the Jayhawks are trying to up tempo. Whoever wins that battle might win the ball game.
It's a 3-point Kansas lead. Arizona in blue, Kansas in white. Simon behind the back dribble, kicks it out for Geary. Geary driving, and looks like Vaughn will pick up the call, and that's 2 on him.
A little bit too much hands that time on Geary. Reggie got a move on him, and Jacque moved his hands in. You play defense with your feet, and Jacque's feet are unbelievable. Jacque Vaughn.
Tomorrow it's UMass against Georgetown, Kentucky against Louisville, against the Wake Forest, pardon me. Flipping my draw down here. Giving that one to Louisville. Wake Forest, the winner there, advancing to face Kentucky.
Geary,
personals on Geary.
He wouldn't have been called for this, Tim, if he didn't lower his shoulder. He lowered his shoulder in, and the ref had to call it that way.
3 on Geary. Can't afford to have him in trouble. Pierce driving the line. Good fall. Williams continues to be hot. B.J. Williams, a junior from Wichita. 10 points for him. Off the bench for Kansas.
Got to spot up McLean if they can.
Simon. Turn around, won't go. Rebound by Williams.
That was a good decision on the break.
On for Pugh, and Pugh got his own rebound. It's off the hands of McLean. Kansas ball.
I told you in the first half, on any break, Vaughn makes good decisions.
Kansas, 3 seed Arizona. Right now it's 52-47. Kansas on top. 15:40 to go in the second half. Kim Ryan and Al McGuire here at McNicholls Sports Arena. A sold-out building here in Denver. McLean diving out to save it. Gets up a little slowly. Banged his elbow, probably against a table leg as he rolled underneath the media tables along courtside. And banged it on the floor.
Boy, you talk about maximum effort from a sick cat.
Kansas ball. Jacque Vaughn pass the backcourt now again for the Wildcats. B.J. Williams having a fine game for Kansas. Pass missing the 3. There's Williams, and it goes in and out. Kansas ball. Simon saying he didn't touch it. Williams did. Officials
Williams keeps the ball alive on the offensive basket.
Pierce inbounding. Scramble for it.
Numbers are right.
Wildcats have a 3-1. Yeah, 3-on-1, and Simon is fouled en route to the hoop. Haas picks up his second personal for Kansas. 5-point game. Arizona normally only goes to Dickerson and Terry off the bench. They had Donnell Harris in briefly back in the first half, and as this tempo continues, they try to slow it down. Kansas tries to pick it up, and they can run guys at you like Kentucky can. Maybe not all with the same ability as those other Wildcats, but just as many, and they're pretty darn good.
If Miles Simons makes this basket here, watch how fast Kansas brings the ball down court. And a lot of times the Arizona guys don't even get the head around. Watch how fast it comes down court. Here it comes. Here we go. Nope. Indecision. Arizona got back that time.
3-point game. Pollard.
Excellent spacing by the Jayhawks.
Pass backs it out again. Vaughn set it up. Watched by Geary. Brilliant point guards. Vaughn working in the paint is short, and Geary gets a rebound. Control of Simon. Halfway between a shot and a pass.
Bad athletic decision that time.
B.J. Williams, a 6'8" junior with 12 points.
They're off to the races. Here comes a good decision again. There it is. The key to Jacque Vaughn is his decisions on fast breaks. He is the best at it in college ball.
Second personal on Pierce.
Here he comes. The decision is over to the left. Called for a charge. Didn't get his balance, Pierce, quick enough.
Pierce goes out. Ryan Robertson returns for Kansas. B.J. Williams.
Jacque Vaughn now 4 boards. Excuse me, Jacque Vaughn now trying to force Gary to the left. Watch, he's trying to force him to the left. He wants to go right, so he's trying to force him left.
Ben Davis. Way up with Pollard for the block. Pass to Robertson.
He doesn't miss many from out there.
Ryan Robertson shooting threes at 45% off the bench for Kansas this year. St. Charles, Missouri.
Not calling the timeout, but they need a score here. Need a score bad. All the way.
Dickerson kicks it out. Joe McLean for 3.
That's only his second shot, I believe, and both are from three-point land.
7-point game. Kansas on top. 5-point. 57-52 now. 3 missed by Haas. Simon. Geary missing a 3. Rebounded by Robertson. Vaughn. Travel call on Jacque Vaughn.
That time, Jacque Vaughn got a little bit fancy that time. Very rarely does he do that.
Terry returns for Arizona. So does Corey Williams. McLean goes out.
Plenty of time left in this ball game, and it really is amazing me how Arizona's staying in at this pace.
Well, Olsen's been substituting very judiciously here. He's obviously got a much shorter bench to work with, and he's been doing a good job. They are flagging here and there. You can see the hands on the knees and some heavy breathing here in the Mile High City.
Well, Arizona wants a physical game. Kansas wants a running game.
Simon won't drop for him. Cats have had only 1 field goal in the last 4.5 minutes, and yet they're only down 5. Garrett Haas off the back iron. Geary jumps in for the rebound. Oh, and he
What an effort that time by Haas.
Jack tackled by Haas. It was like a soccer tackle there.
I used to have him just on my blue-collar team. Now I'm going to make him the captain of my blue-collar team. There he goes.
Third personal on Haas. He gets a rest.
Wildcats won't crack. They're hanging in here. If they get a run, they can cause an awful lot of trouble going to the bell lap the last 10 minutes of the game.
Davis, steal by Vaughn. Vaughn's pass behind Thomas. He rushed it. You can see Roy Williams come out of his chair, put his hands forward, said, had a smile on his face, but said, hey, Jacque, didn't have to make that pass.
Yeah, the pass was the nice steal, but he threw it too far behind the man. So he's right behind the man, right out of bounds.
Threw it right to Roy Williams. 15 turnovers each team now. 11:56 to go, second half. Dickerson lost control of the dribble. Vaughn back the other way, one-on-one with Geary. Pulls up, won't go. He's fouled by Geary.
Vaughn is trying to show up Geary a little bit, I believe. They're really playing one-on-one so hard, and so is Geary trying to show up Vaughn. But these two guys are defensive specialists.
4 personals on Geary. Very costly.
They're going to have to take him off Vaughn, leave him on Vaughn. He's going to be on the bench in within 2 or 3 minutes. So they got to take him off Jacque Vaughn, excuse me.
Miles Simon comes in. Geary goes out. Simon and Terry will be the guard pair, as we keep pointing out. Wildcats fans know it, but the rest of the country may not. They're pretty thin. Contrarily, Kansas is deep. Vaughn makes it 58-52. 5 points for him. Make it 6. We have a timeout. 11:46 to play, second half. Kansas 59-52. And of course, we saw John Wallace here tonight have a game. I don't know how he can improve on that game. He was brilliant. Everything he did. Rebounds, 30 points, winning shot. They won the game in overtime against Georgia. DJ Williams rolling here for Kansas.
He's doing a great job. He had a little bit more weight. He did outstanding ball play, as good as he is.
That's Corey Williams for Arizona for 3. 59-55, 11 points for Williams. Few in the lineup. Thomas as well off the Kansas bench. A steal taken away from LaFrentz by Dickerson. On the near side. Williams shot off the mark. Rebound, try the foul.
Dickerson was very fortunate. He got away with a push-off before he got that rebound. There's a man in the last 18 years, he went to the NCAA 17 times.
Dickerson will go to the line. Dickerson hits the first. 59-56. Can cut it to 2. Thomas picked up the personal for Kansas. And it's a 2-point game again.
Wildcats just won't go away.
They had a 13-point lead, did Arizona, in the first half. Kansas closed it up at the half. Vaughn. Good feed for B.J. Williams. Continues to get good position around the basket and count every opportunity.
Well, if you get position, you know you're going to get the ball from Jacque Vaughn. That's important.
This is Corey Williams. Ran into Pollard. Good D there by Kansas. Pollard in strong position. Pass. Williams puts it on the floor. Jacque Vaughn with 10 assists so far in this game, doing his Vaughn thing.
That's the 15th foul on Arizona. There's 5 team fouls on Kansas.
Corey Williams picks up his first. Joe McNeil comes in. Joe McLean, pardon me, comes in for Arizona.
Flank 3 on the left. Simon took it all to himself.
Great block by Pollard. Dickerson came up with the ball for the Cats. Simon missing from three-point range. Kansas rebound. Quickly the other way, and Vaughn, the distance.
Just hesitated right. He gave you a static move on the foul line. Scot Pollard comes from behind, skies, catches leather. Now we go right back after the block shot. He gives a static move there, then penetrates deep and ends with a finger roll.
8 points for the poet, Jacque Vaughn. Poetry in motion on the court, writes a little poetry off the court. Business administration major, Roy Williams says if he wants to be governor of California, I'm sure he can do it.
They have an easier job being governor of Kansas.
That's true. 64 to 57 Kansas. 7-point game, 10 minutes left. Nice heel by Vaughn.
Good strip.
And he's fouled en route to the hoop. Vaughn.
I think they're going to have to call a timeout. I really think to regroup. They're looking to knock you out, and I think if you just stay tight in the ball game, you might have a chance this last 5 minutes. Not saying that Kansas is that much better than you, but they got so many deep rotation on the bench, and they're so quick.
Let's see how Vaughn got wrapped on the head here. It looks like maybe he initiated the collision, actually, as he went up. But he's all right.
He's not leaving this game. I'm thinking of the towel there. I was thinking of what a great run Georgetown had with John Thompson and to be in the Elite Eight, and that the great guard Iverson. Unbelievable guard.
Boy, we've seen a lot of good guards in college basketball this year. What a group in Providence last week in the East region. Kareem Reed, Hutchins out of Marquette.
Well, the guards,
Padilla from UMass.
well, the guards, Tim, really govern college basketball. In the NBA, it's governed by the centers and the baseline. But the backcourt governs college basketball. If you don't have a quick guard to neutralize pressure, you're in trouble.
Erie's back in at that position for Arizona, and high for the rebound goes Dickerson. He can jump. McLean. McLean throws it up, trying to draw a foul, and not get one. 9:40 to go. Quickly back the other way. Kansas just gets down the floor. DJ Williams. It's a jump. Man. 16 points for Williams. Off the bench. He averages 4.4 a game. What a night he's having. McLean. Geary. Inside. Bramlett. We've got a big man, a 6'11 freshman, getting some time. Simon for three. Won't go for him. Bramlett trying to rebound, can't hold it, and Kansas has it.
As soon as they go over half court, they hit the ball in the Jock's hands. Not this time.
Pollard, and Bramlett fouls him. A.J. Bramlett, a freshman from Albuquerque at 6'11", picks up his first.
What angle we got here? One of the things I thought might happen, I thought he might have walked before he shot. No, he kept that left pivot foot down all the way through. Good call by the referee.
A frustration foul there by the freshman, this time Bramlett. The play at the other end still on his mind, the way he went after Pollard there. Pollard goes to the line.
Arizona got to get the ball into Ben Davis. They got to go to the only big man they got down low to get back into this ball game.
Pollard short on that one.
It wasn't not only short, it was to the left.
Pollard, 77 blocks on the season, the 6'10 junior from San Diego, averaging 7-6 rebounds a game, and he gets 1 or 2 from the line. 5 points for him. A 10-point game, Kansas. 8:56 to go.
Give it into Ben Davis, guys.
Geary outside for Corey Williams.
Big three.
A huge three there.
I'm surprised that Kansas didn't overplay the three-point area.
14 points for the pre-law major at Arizona, planning on law school. Corey Williams. Took a walk on the boardwalk. Pierce. Walker. 16 turnovers for Kansas. Sure Roy Williams doesn't like that number. He runs in fresh troops. Rayford is up, ready to come in.
When he comes in, it'll be an up-tempo game. That's his job as a senior.
This is Geary. There's 4 fouls on him, remember. Dickerson. Geary outside. Sure Olson's going to have him stay out of traffic.
Too much hands by Williams that time.
Williams on Williams.
Yeah, Williams is too quick for Williams. Williams in the blue is too quick for Williams in the white.
B.J. Williams of Kansas in white picks up the foul. Corey Williams, the senior from Batavia, Illinois, over the line. B.J. Williams gets a rousing ovation from the Kansas fans. A goodly number here in Denver. Dickerson missing from underneath. Kansas rebound. Pass. Here's Rayford in the game. LaFrentz outside. Hands down to the low post.
Rayford moving, kick the ball off. He's not looking to shoot.
LaFrentz.
Beautiful block by Williams that time. No fresh clock. Didn't hit the rim.
Pierce, a three-pointer. Paul Pierce, the freshman. 20 points. Geary. Beating Dickerson. Olson has not gone much with McLean at all. Remember, he spent part of the day in the hospital getting fluids for dehydration. 10-point game, Kansas. 18 turnovers now by Arizona. Kansas has had 16. Good pass to Pugh from Rayford.
The quickness and the depth of the bench of the Kansas Jayhawks.
First basket for T.J. Pugh. A whole bunch of initials in this game. A lot of guys going with their initials.
Kansas one time of the year was #1 in the country, but it's never was out of the top 5. It's been a firm top 5 AP all year long.
14 points for Dickerson with a 3. And that's Pugh trying a 3 that's off the iron. Pierce rebounding.
Wildcats are losing their zip going after loose balls. They're going to run the clock a little bit here. Look for a key shot, probably from Haas.
Pugh starts to drive baseline. Turn back, bounce pass inside from LaFrentz.
Nice move by Simon from the weak side, which created the charge by LaFrentz.
Offensive second personal. 72-63, Kansas lead. 6:15 to go. Three more assists, and each has 4 turnovers. Geary, however, has 4 personal fouls, and they cannot afford to lose him, can the Arizona Wildcats. They are thin on the bench, and only a freshman, Jason Terry, to back him up.
They really have neutralized each other, and the team captain, Gary, here is not looking to score, but he should score more than 2 points.
Each averages about 10 points a game, and Vaughn is about at his average. One more point. Get him there. 19 turnovers by the Cats now. Pass. Waits for the basket. Trying to feed it to Pugh. Battle for the loose ball is grabbed by Dickerson for Arizona. 72-63 Kansas. 5:40 to go.
Done a great job defensive-wise on Ben Davis down low.
Dickerson for 3.
They'll set up a half-court set this
17
time.
points.
You're going to have to watch the back picks and the down picks and screens.
The third 3-point field goal for Dickerson. Vaughn sets up the Kansas play. Pollard getting ready to come back in. Pugh hit the deck. On driving. Throws up a prayer. Williams rebounds it.
Williams gave a push before he got the rebound coming down.
Second on B.J. Williams. And our game summary here in this half. Arizona with only 7 rebounds to 17 by Kansas. Look at B.J. Williams off the bench. 16 points, 8 rebounds, 8 of 12 from the field. It's just an outstanding performance for B.J. Williams, who averages 4.4 points a game, the junior from Wichita. Davis will be at the line for Arizona. He has 8 points. Has been quiet since the first half.
Arizona is giving McClain a rest. They'll put him back in the final rush, I would say, with about 3.5 minutes to go. He'll come back in.
They've given him a lot of rest. And of course, no doubt, due to the dehydration he suffered. Dickerson does get a lot of time off the bench and has played well here in the clean spot. Davis makes it a 5-point game. 5:02 to go. Hold on to your hats. The crowd's coming to its feet here. The Kansas fans exhorting their team. They do not want to see a Cincinnati-Georgia game finish like that one. I mean,
he laid it high on the backboard. He had to get over Ben Davis coming in, so he put him about 3 feet above the rim, off the glass.
Before we get forward to the Georgia-Syracuse game earlier here this evening, near steal by Robertson. Terry, he's short. Pollard has it. Vaughn slows it down. Watched by Jason Terry. 74 to 68.
Watch all the screening down low, back screening and picking. Constant moving with the Jayhawks.
Billy Thomas. Number 12 with Vaughn, Pollard, Williams, and Ryan Robertson.
Terry's trying to keep the ball out of Vaughn's hands.
Billy Thomas missing a 3. Loose ball comes to Simon.
Numbers are right for Williams. There it is.
Corey Williams shut off by Pollard, but makes the play. Smart, patient play by Corey Williams. 16 points for him.
Anybody's ball game. 4-point spread. 3 minutes and 43 seconds left. If Kansas doesn't score this time, watch out for tightening up.
74 to 70, Kansas. Seeded number 2 in the West, Arizona number 3, and a miscue by Vaughn. 2-on-1. Terry.
And he was hit. Foul. He can bring the Cats within 1 point.
How about the freshman's cool there going up? Jason Terry, freshman from Seattle.
The turnover here, they create their fast break. It's kicked to the left, but Simon now feeds it to Terry, which we call socks.
2-point game. Lute Olson fired up himself, and his troops fired up.
Well, let's see what you can do, Socks. Let's get a little picture of those socks there from the camera people. There they are.
Terry, he of the socks on the line. 3-point play by the freshman. 1-point game. Kansas 74 to 73. 3:24 to go.
Overtime.
A 1-point game, Kansas on top, 3:24 to play. Arizona hanging in there. And 3 full timeouts each team has remaining. Each has their 20s. Possession hour belongs to Kansas, 3:20 to go. LaFrentz, Pollard, Vaughn, pass, and Pierce, the starting lineup for the Jayhawks on the floor. Steal by Davis. Davis has been quiet this half. That's a big play. Only 4 points and 1 rebound in the second half for Ben Davis, the Arizona big man. Dickerson.
Ooh, they take the lead.
Arizona by 1.
Now you got a gut check right here.
Syracuse and Georgia all over again.
They'd like to get Haas on the outside, but I think you have to pump it down low. There it is.
Here's the turnaround. Don't go for the freshman. And it's Corey Williams coming down with it. He took a beating, but he hung on to the ball. Geary for Dickerson. Dickerson short. Ball hit the side of the backboard. It'll be Kansas ball. Arizona by 1, 2:15 to go.
Right decision we made by Jacque Vaughn. Look for the penetrating dish.
Watch double team by Dickerson and Davis.
There's the dish.
Pass. In and out. Up for the rebound goes Dickerson, and a foul call on Kansas. Williams. B.J. Williams is third. 2 shots. 10 team fouls for Kansas.
The bonus foul. Shoot 2 shots no matter what foul is called from now on out.
Dickerson, a free throw shooter at 73% for the season. He's had a big game for Arizona. He's got 19 points. He averages 11-6.
What he has, Tim, even his outside shooting, his foul shooting, tremendous trajectory on his shot. Watch how it goes up about 2/3 of the way, then drops down at the end. Bang!
Now, he shares time with Joe McLean, but he's been the main man today because of the illness suffered by McLean, who's not played a lot.
Too early to go for the 3. I just go for a score. There's plenty of time left.
3-point game. This is Vaughn feeding it out. No basket.
Ooh, I thought they were going to call a walk. They called a foul. That is the 19th foul on Arizona, so it'll be a 1-and-1, I believe.
Simon.
Nice penetration that time by Jacque. He dumped it down low to Williams. So it's a 1-and-1, not the bonus foul. Next will be the bonus foul.
B.J. Williams, 16 points. At the free throw line, he hits. 2-point game. Arizona led in the first half by 13. They trailed by 10 here in the second half. And a 20-second timeout called by Lute Olson in Arizona. Wildcats up by 2. 1:42 to play. Well, Jim Boeheim, he says, hey, this is deja vu, and if he was Barra, he'd say all over again.
But you know what? You know what's difficult about it? He doesn't know which one to root for or which one to over-scout. What you're doing in a situation like this, you take 2 of your staff to scout Arkansas, Arizona, and 2 to scout Kansas, because you don't know who's going to win, but you want to have the reports proper.
Jim Boeheim's Syracuse team outlasting stubborn Georgia Bulldogs team in overtime. First game here tonight in Denver. Roy Williams. These guys, they've been working hard tonight, Williams and Olson. Williams with that beautiful arc that Al McGuire talked about. From Dickerson, a similar arc from B.J. Williams. Arizona by 1. 1:34 to go.
As long as he keeps his dribble alive, the clock doesn't count against him. You pick up your dribble, you got 5 seconds.
14 seconds on the shot clock. Tight checking by Kansas. Foul call. And it's Haas. Jared Haas. 4 on him.
Simon says I get it automatically 2-shot foul.
Miles Simon. Sophomore from Fulton, California. Shoots free throws at 76%. We have a timeout, a 20-second call by Lute Olson.
Simon is more of a thinking man's player. He's very heady, very clever at what he does, and he doesn't have any weaknesses. His game is solid offensively and defensively.
He was born in Stockholm, Sweden, and a little family distinction he has is he's a brother-in-law of Darryl Strawberry, Major League Baseball player.
When he's playing at 100%, the Cats are tough to beat.
Each team still with 3 full timeouts. They've used up their 20s. Kansas with 11 team fouls, Arizona with 9. The possession arrow still remains Jayhawks. Simon at the line for Arizona. Kansas has scored only 1 field goal in the last 5 minutes and 50 seconds. Simon, cool sophomore, has 20 points, well over his average of just under 13.
This is a big one because it puts you at 3. I would think maybe look for the 3, but with a simple deuce, go for the deuce. But I'd look for the 3. Nice back door. Oh, block. Woo. Reggie, my man. It came from downtown from the backside. Watch Reggie come from the backside in this block. Up and away. Where's your cape?
Reggie Geary, 6'2" guard. Foul call before the basket.
The ball danced around, didn't go in. He'll go to the foul line for 2 shots. Both teams are in a bonus anyway.
Before the shot, I meant to say thank you, Al. And Pollard goes to the line with 2 shots. 3-point game, Arizona. Scot Pollard, the junior from San Diego. One of the characters on the Kansas team. He and Vaughn are roommates, and they say that's quite a combination. We've got a timeout, 1:08 to play. Arizona by 2.
Timeout, Arizona.
Terry and Williams. Corey Williams shoots 60%. Tim Ryan, Al McGuire, 1:08 to go here in Denver. Arizona by 2. Pollard up the line, shooting 2. For Kansas, the Jayhawks, the number 2 seed. Arizona, the number 3.
If he makes this foul shot, the Jayhawks come up with hard pressure. If the ball gets in, they'll try to foul Williams. Williams is the worst percentage foul shooter on Arizona.
Nope, it hits. It's a 1-point game. 7 points for Pollard. Kansas fans come to their feet. 1 minute left. Geary deep to the corner. Dickerson off the back iron. Loose ball. Pass, 2-on-1. Pass looking for help now. Good recovery by the Wildcats. On the transition, Vaughn sets it up. 44 seconds. 23 on the shot clock. In the corner, it's Haas for 3. Kansas by 2, 34 seconds left. 16 points for Jared Haas.
They won't go for a timeout. They'll go for a score. They'll take a deuce or a 3.
Geary. Ben Davis. Bothered enough. Missed it. Rebound. Pierce. 16 seconds left.
You got to foul right away. No matter who it is, you can't wait. You can't be. You got to foul right away. This is insane. Good.
Simon finally gets him. I think he had trouble catching him. 9.1 seconds left. Clever play by Vaughn. Running it all the way out to the midcourt line. 4 personals on Simon.
They know he spotted up in the corner. Zip. Now watch the bench react. There is a little bit delay on that.
Jared Haas to put Kansas in front. Vaughn at the line. This outstanding backcourt delivering the goods here in the final seconds. 3-point game.
This is the big one now because if he makes this one, it becomes a 2-possession game for the Wildcats.
Timeout, 9.1 left.
Okay. Jacque Vaughn will penetrate into the paint and then kick it out to Haas. Here he goes. There's the kick out, and there's the bury. Now here's a low angle look at penetrate to the middle, kick out to one of the best disciplined point guards in the country with Vaughn hitting his 3-point spot up man, Haas.
Jared Haas, 16 points, 4 3-pointers, none bigger than that one, an 82-79 lead with the free throw from Vaughn. He's got another one coming, remember. We've got a timeout between the two. Vaughn looking calm, cool, and collected. 12 points he has.
He has to make this one. It's a 2-possession game. He makes it. It should be all she wrote.
And he does. Jacque Vaughn, 13 for the game. A big-time pair of free throws. 9.1 left. Simon kicks it off. 3 is off the mark from Dickerson.
Bad foul that time by Williams. He pushed off before he went to the rebound. There's still hope here. What they'll do, they'll make their first foul shot. The second one they'll miss on purpose.
3.6 seconds left. 4-point Kansas lead.
Here's the shot. Catches a piece of the rim. Williams pushed off before. You didn't catch it in that shot right there. Now the man goes to the foul line. McLean goes to the foul line. The idea is to make the first foul, miss the second, and try to get the rebound.
3.6 seconds. All that's left in regulation time. Lute Olson's got to have some good things happen here to have the finish that he hopes for. The number 3 seeds against number 2 Kansas. Kansas up by 4.
If Joe makes this one, he has to miss the next one on purpose.
McLean makes it.
Now let's see if I'm figuring this thing out right. I think I am. He has to miss this one on purpose, in my opinion.
3-point game.
He did. Oh, almost scored on. That was the ride. Let it go.
Oh, just missed. Playing short. Kansas advances. A 3-point win over Arizona. Olson and Williams. Boy, they coached their butts off here tonight, those 2 guys. And a great job by Roy Williams and the Jayhawks of Kansas. Number 2 seeds advance to the Elite 8. They'll meet Syracuse here on Sunday afternoon in Denver. Disappointment for Lute Olson, joy for Roy Williams. McLean got the miss that Al McGuire said he had to try for. Ball bouncing around and the Wildcats unable to come up with it. McLean just too far away off balance. A desperation shot. So the happy Jayhawks hold off the Wildcats. Another thriller here in Denver. Syracuse escaped from Georgia. Kansas did the same from Arizona. And they'll meet at 2:40 tip-off time Sunday here at McNicholls Sports Arena in Denver. Our Chevrolet players of the game. Michael Dickerson, 21 points, 7 rebounds. B.J. Williams, brilliant off the bench for Kansas, 18 points, 9 rebounds. And Kansas advances. We'll return you to Pat O'Brien at our studios in New York after this message. Stay with us for more.